All right, today we're going to talk about your brain's built-in panic button. What happens when your emotions suddenly grab the steering wheel, and more importantly, how you can get back in control. Let's get into it.
Have you ever had one of those moments you just snap? You say or do something in the heat of the moment, and then maybe a few minutes later, you're just sitting there thinking, what on earth was I thinking? Well, you are definitely not alone. It's a totally universal human experience, and believe it or not, there's a really fascinating reason for it happening deep inside your brain.
So, to really get this, let's think about it like this. Imagine you have this ancient, loyal guard dog living inside your brain. It's incredibly fast, and its one and only job is to scan for danger and protect you, no matter what. That little guard dog, that's your amygdala.
So that moment when you snap, that's what the psychologist Daniel Goleman famously called an amygdala hijack. It's when your emotional guard dog completely hijacks the system. It launches this huge response to what it thinks is a massive threat, even if, the situation isn't actually life or death.
Okay, so how does this hijack actually happen? Well, all the information coming in from your senses travels on two different paths in your brain. There's the fast path, which goes straight to the amygdala, our guard dog, for a split-second reaction. Then there's the slow path, which goes up to your neocortex. Let's call that your brain's CEO, for some calm, rational analysis. And here's the kicker. The guard dog gets the message milliseconds before the CEO even knows what's going on.
And this really explains why that fast path is there in the first place. As Daniel Goleman puts it, this whole system evolved for one reason: survival. It's designed to answer the most basic question out there. Do I eat it or does it eat me? It's all about immediate action, no thinking required. Which, hey, that's great if you're facing a tiger, but not so great when you're just arguing about whose turn it is to do the dishes.
And here's the problem with modern life, right? Our poor guard dog is being triggered all the time by work emails, by deadlines, by traffic, you name it. And when that guard dog never gets a chance to rest, the cost can be really, really high.
Look, an amygdala hijack every once in a while is totally normal. But when these emotional takeovers start happening every day, they create this state of chronic stress. Your body is basically stuck in fight or flight mode, and that is where things start to get pretty dangerous.
And what's really alarming here is just how much damage it can do. Chronic stress isn't just a bad feeling, it is a major medical risk factor. We're talking links to things like anxiety and depression, heart disease, even type 2 diabetes. It messes with your immune system, it causes inflammation, it ruins your sleep. It's a quiet but very real enemy to our health.
So just how serious is it? Well, there was this massive international study called Inner Heart, and what it found was stunning. Severe psychosocial stress literally doubles your risk of having a heart attack. That puts it on the same level as smoking or having high cholesterol. That is the real-world price of letting the guard dog run wild.
Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. There is some really good news here. Your brain has a powerful counterweight to the guard dog. It's time to meet your brain's CEO and talk about the power of your executive function.
Right, so the CEO. This is the most evolved part of your brain, the neocortex, and specifically the prefrontal cortex. This is your hub for logic, for reason, for planning, and, most importantly for this conversation, self-control. The CEO's whole job is to look at the info from that slow path and decide if the guard dog's alarm is, actually justified, or just a false alarm. Now, the set of skills the CEO uses, that's what we call executive function. Just think of it as your brain's management system. It's a thing that allows you to hit the brakes on the guard dog's knee-jerk reactions and choose a much more thoughtful response instead.
This management team, it handles pretty much everything, from planning your day to shifting your focus to resisting that urge to eat a second piece of cake. So when your executive function is strong, it means your CEO is firmly in charge, able to calm that guard dog down when it starts barking for no good reason.
So, the big question is, how do we give our CEO more power? Well, there's one core strategy that research has shown is incredibly effective, and it's not about fighting your emotions, it's actually about rethinking them.
Basically, when a strong emotion hits, you have two main choices. You can try suppression, just bottling it up, but studies show this is a terrible idea. It actually makes it harder to think clearly and can even make other people like you less because you seem inauthentic. The much better choice is reappraisal, actively changing how you think about the situation that's causing the emotion in the first place. The real magic here is to reframe the facts, not fight the feeling itself. So that critical email from your boss, is it a personal attack, a threat, or is it just information you can use?
That rude comment from someone, is it an insult, or is it just a clue that they're having a really bad day? By shifting your frame from threat to information, you can stop a hijack before it even gets started. And this isn't just some one-off trick for the moment. It's a skill you can actually build up over time. You can train your brain to be less reactive. So let's look at how you can strengthen your CEO.
And let's be super clear about something. The goal here is not to get rid of your guard dog. You need that guy for genuine emergencies. The goal is to train it. Neuroscientists have confirmed that what things like therapy and training actually do is teach your neocortex, the CEO, how to put the brakes on the amygdala. You're literally strengthening the connection between the rational and emotional parts of your brain.
And there are scientifically proven ways to do this. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, directly teaches you these reframing skills. Mindfulness practices train you to just observe your feelings without immediately reacting. Even things like HRV biofeedback and just regular old exercise physically strengthen your body's ability to regulate stress and give that CEO more control.
Now, this is where it gets really cool. This isn't just a metaphor anymore. Using all kinds of new sensor technology, scientists can literally watch this whole process unfold in real time. They can actually track your emotional arousal, that's the red line here, and your cognitive load, which is how hard your CEO is working, in blue. We can actually see the tug of war between the guard dog and the CEO as it's happening.
So the big takeaway is this. That feeling of being hijacked by your emotions, it's a real biological process. But, and this is the important part, it's not a life sentence. You have an incredibly powerful CEO in your brain that can be trained to manage that sometimes overenthusiastic guard dog. So the real question is, how are you going to empower yours?